I'm live. Thank God. Fuck. That was literally over an hour of like editing and trying to make this camera work, and evidently I'm not allowed to go up live on my phone, so I had to get my camera. And then the camera that's on my laptop is garbage, so here we are. And I have a lot to say. And I actually have at least 12-point plan of what I want to say before I get off. And I feel like maybe I don't have anything else to say. Doubtful. But the point is, I want to make sure that what I have to say has been said. I want to make sure that all the lessons that I've learned throughout my life have at least been said and passed on, even through a virtual means, because I feel like I've learned a lot, and I've made a lot of mistakes, a lot, and I'm not perfect, and I will never be perfect, but I do feel like I have a lot to give, and if hypothetically I'm not allowed to give it in person, I feel like at least I have one thing that gives what I want to give people, if that makes any sense. Okay, so a big thing for me has always been about life. And by that, I don't mean like the general term. I literally mean human life. I feel like we were put on this earth for a reason. There were a lot of things that led up to our creation and to where we are right now. And anthropology taught me a lot, and I loved it. It actually was one of my favorite subjects just because it made me understand people now, because the ethics and virtues and the things that we really did back then are still instilled in us now. We have that need to survive, and we will always, because we had to struggle. Back 65 million years ago, whenever Homo sapiens were actually, if you want to clarify when we had the distinction of Homo sapiens, I mean, when we actually had the power in our brains, in our person to be who we are, we survived only because we banded together. Literally. The Neanderthals, who were on our same level, they were actually living at the same time that we did. They didn't have that. They were bigger and stronger, and they didn't survive. Because, for me, what I think is because they didn't learn. They didn't learn that banding together and that camaraderie that you have with other people is more important than how big and how strong and how good you look. Because they didn't survive. Because what did survive is love and caring and family and camaraderie and building your own tribe. Because that's what it's about. It's not about separation. It's not about who's more powerful or who is stronger or who is even smarter. It's about who can band together and work together to a common fucking goal. And I think everybody's goal is happiness. And I think we've lost that present times because we have retracted back to tribalism. And tribalism is in our nature. It is. It's part of human nature to see somebody that's different from you and think that that's a danger, because that was the case. It literally was the case. You see somebody different than you that had different markings on their face or didn't look the shade that you do or have the same hair color as you or anything like that, and they were literally a danger because they were part of a different tribe that you are not a part of, and they wanted to kill you. But we have grown past that. And I think a lot of people don't get it. Like, the physical differences that we have that are innate in our characteristics does not make us enemies anymore. They're not at all. Because that is the past. We are not hunters and gatherers anymore. We are not out there hunting for our food. We are going to fucking Kroger and Walmart and Target, and we are outsourcing everything that we have. But for some reason, people are being small-minded and thinking that these characteristics are still defining who they are and defining who each other are. And until we get that, that is not who we are anymore, we'll never get past it. We'll never get past it. I have tried my fucking hardest to get people to understand, and I sadly have given up. And that's my fault, and I'm not going to say that is who I want to be, but it's hard. It's hard fighting for other people when the people that you're fighting for don't even want to accept you. And I get that. I get it. I look different. I get it. I'm not trying to be a victim, because I'm not. There are a lot of things that were afforded to me that I acknowledge. And I do look like people that have hurt and objectified people. But I haven't. That's not who I am. But I recognize that that's who I am. That's my culture, and I've tried my best to do better. And sometimes the hurt is so bad. Sometimes the injustice is so disgusting and hurtful and harmful and deep in your soul, where you go out every day and you don't feel worthy. And you don't feel as good as. And you want to take it out on somebody. And I get it. I will never get it racially. I won't, because I've been white my entire life. It's not like I just woke up and chose to be white. I am white as fuck. But I do remember the days in which I didn't recognize that I was gay. And I remember hurting people. I remember calling people out. I remember calling people homos. I remember saying that they were faggots. I thought that was what we were supposed to do. And that sucks. That's something that I've had to wear on my heart, and I've tried my best to apologize to those that I hurt, and the ones that I did, I apologized to, and they became my friends later, but it still weighs on my heart because I don't think that's I don't think anybody deserves that at all. I don't think anybody deserves to be hated on for who they are. So going back to my main point is that humans are tribalistic. That's just in our nature. We see differences as danger because that protected us before. But that's not who we are anymore. It's not who we are anymore. We have evolved. We don't have to attack each other. We can accept each other for our differences and help each other be better. That's who we can be. It's in our nature, actually, as well. So, in that, I'm just trying to say that it's okay to accept that's your nature, but it's also better to accept that's your nature and to grow past it, to know better, know that hating somebody off of a characteristic that they have nothing to do with, that they did not choose for themselves, is being better, is growing. Yes, God made us in his own image, and God made us who we are, and God made us exactly what you see. But the same could be said for anybody else. You are not special. I'm not trying to say you're not special as in like you're not unique or you're not valid. I'm saying God made all of us exactly how we are. And part of that is accepting that God made everybody else exactly who they are. Mind-blowing, right? So how can you hate somebody that literally God made that way? Unless you don't think God, unless you think God makes mistakes. If you think God is a flawed person, if you think God does things to spite or make everything difficult for other people, then you have to accept that other people were made differently on purpose. I'm one of those. You know, I'm gay. I'm gay. I fought it a long time, and it caused me a lot of turmoil. And there was a time in my life where I prayed that I could be anything else but gay. And the point is, we are who we are. We can't control it. Just making sure I'm actually still in frame because I've been talking a lot and I just didn't. Anyways, so for the Christians out there, I want them to know that God made everybody. Everybody. You either have to believe that they made nobody or they made everybody. There's no ands, ifs, or buts when it comes to God. If you believe in God and his plan, you have to know that he planned everybody. So if you think and you believe that he made everybody, then why would you think that he planned for these other people to be ungodlike, to be not worthy of his love? Does that make any sense to you? They didn't just come out of fucking the ground. They didn't just. The devil's not out here making people. That's not what the devil does. God gave us love. God gave us truth and honesty and life and goodness. God didn't give us fucking hate or judgment. He didn't do that. We did. And maybe if you believe it's the devil, if you want to blame somebody, maybe the devil. But for me, I don't blame people for my things that I done wrong. I believe that my faults are my own and I can't blame anybody else. And owning up to them, I think, is what God wants us to do. And I feel like God, more than anything, wants us to be honest and good and help each other. I don't think God made life easy on purpose. I feel like God knew that nothing he could create in giving us free will is going to be easy, because humans aren't perfect. We're not. But I do think he gave us all the qualities and the characteristics that we could to survive. So going back to my original point, stemmed in anthropology, is that human beings, Homo sapiens, survived because we banded together. That I don't get it. Is it going or is it not? No, it's like we're reversed. Is it going as or not? I'm very confused. It's very weird that I would look over as soon as it flipped. Is it buffering? Lord Almighty. Pause. I'm not stopping the video because I don't know if it's actually stopped or not, but what I'm seeing on my screen is literally a blank screen, so I just need to ensure that nothing So it seems that it's working. I just can't see it. So I'm going to keep on going in the hopes that I'm not just wasting my time and spinning my wheels. But going back to my original subject. So anthropology, the study of human evolution and our development throughout history. There were several different versions of homos. And I'm not saying homos as in homosexuals. I mean homos as in our species. So Neanderthals are part of the Homo species, but they didn't survive. And there was actually, I want to say there was 8. I'm not a complete expert on anthropology, but I do remember that 65 million years ago was the start of ours, the Homo sapiens that we are currently today. So all the other species of Homo that were, I want to say it was like 125 million years. See, I'm not an expert, but my point is that there were lots of species that all were surviving at the same time, and the only one that survived is us, Homo sapiens. That's got to say something. It's got to say something about who we are as a people, who we are differently than them. And the ones that survived almost as long as us, the Neanderthals, their biggest problem was that their brain wasn't as big as ours. They were at least, I want to say, 1.5 feet taller than us. Their muscle structure was bigger than us. So when you think about today, even if you were to put me against like a WWE wrestler that has huge muscles and is 1.5 feet taller than me, who's going to survive? Them. Easily. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And that's not the truth. And I think people, especially these days, are prioritizing the wrong kind of things. They're not prioritizing the things that made us survive. They're not prioritizing the things that make us thrive as people. Looks, strength, endurance are great and amazing back in the day. And I'm not discounting people that actually care about that thing, because they are important, because obesity is a problem, and heart disease is still the leading cause of death in the world. I'm not trying to discount that. I am trying to say that we are not prioritizing the things that actually make us us. Us. Homo sapiens. The ones that survived. The ones that got put us on this earth to flourish. And that is endurance. Not in the physical sense. It's surviving. Taking something that's a hardship and fucking making it your own, making a better path, helping each other. That's actually number one. Helping each other. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but that's actually what the Neanderthals didn't have. They were so competitive with each other that they just fought each other. They killed each other off. And whenever winter came, they were there alone in the bitter fucking cold, shivering and dying alone. And you know what we did? We built communities. We built families. Even if we didn't know each other, we saw each other and we made homes. We made our own families. But because we realized we are better together. We're better together. We're not good attacking each other. It's not in our nature. It's not who we are. Yes, we can pick fights and find differences in each other and hate. I hate that. I hate that we hate each other sometimes, but that's not who we are. We survived together. Together. Not alone. Not alone. And, you know, that has been my biggest point of depression lately, is that I don't see that anymore. And I want to, and probably that's why I made this video, but we need to start back to just being a community that cares about each other. That's it. I think that's very simple. And I think that's where we need to go back to. That it's not okay to kill somebody because they look threatening to us. That it's not okay for a poor, smart kid to work at McDonald's their entire life because they have no fucking opportunity. It's not okay for somebody to grow old and die in a nursing home with nobody around them. I feel like we've stopped caring about each other in the basic sense. And it hurts. It hurts me. I know it hurts other people. But when do we start to do something different? You know? I don't even know my video's working anymore. Let me check it. Let me check it before I go back to it, and then see, it stopped working. It stopped working. So I've been talking for no reason. I've been talking for no reason. Jesus Christ. Maybe I'm. See that? Okay. The thing is, I can be silenced. Yeah, and yeah, it's not working. So